Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes. Welcome to night 71 of the overnight feed recaps for Big Brother season 25, and welcome to Eviction Thursday. This week, maybe more so, not Eviction Thursday, it is, but more importantly than that, it's HOH competition night. Seems pretty much a foregone conclusion. Cameron's on the block versus Cirie, but it seems just about certain that Cameron is going home tonight. We didn't have the typical waffling that we sometimes have yesterday. Now, it seems pretty cut and dried. Cameron's going home, so that part of tonight's live episode, not that big a deal. Well, for Cameron, it's kind of a big deal, but not that much uncertainty. It's who wins the HOH and what happens going forward that's going to be the big question this evening. So there was certainly a lot of talking going on last night about people positioning themselves versus each other. Who can you trust? Who can you not trust? Here's a hint. You can't trust anyone in the house. But there's a lot of that talk going on. So we're going to talk about all of that, what happened last night. We'll just get right on into it with the feeds themselves. Let's start off with America talking to Blue. They had a few conversations yesterday. We'll see where that goes, and you'll see as we go through. All right, America's talking to Blue and telling her that Cameron had asked her to make sure that they don't vote out Felicia next week, because Cameron does not like the idea of being stuck in a jury house with Felicia for an entire week, just the two of them. I thought that was kind of funny. Now, here's what it tells me. Cameron has at this point accepted his fate. He's realized he's not going to be able to change the votes. He's now thinking about the jury house, the jury house experience. So he's telling America, just don't send Felicia after me. That's the one thing I still can ask and still want going forward. So I thought that was interesting. All right. She also says that Cameron has been warning everyone about everyone else in the house so far. Yeah, he's tried to campaign a lot by throwing everyone under the house to some degree. And so America's saying, as a result of that, no matter who is evicted next, no matter who shows up at that jury house, Cameron's going to say, see, I told you they were coming after you. And that's probably true. So they've got that. Our America is also saying that Cameron had apologized to her for yesterday. They had one conversation in the downstairs bathroom. He got a little upset with her. He walked out the door. She went and called him out in the scary room a little bit after that. Well, America's telling Blue that he apologized for her for walking out on her like that. They told her there wasn't going to be any campaigning today, that he really just wants to enjoy his last day in the house and just have fun with it. So we do expect to not see as much campaigning. And as it turns out, he really doesn't. He's just kind of hanging out. It's a lot more other people's conversations at this point in time. All right, we've got Matt and Cameron talking to each other. Doesn't mean he's not still talking, just not campaigning necessarily. Matt and Cameron are talking. Cameron's telling Matt that he never would have really gunned for Matt or Jag or Bowie Jane. Now, this isn't really campaigning. I feel like it's more just Cameron kind of coming clean to a few of the people that maybe he did feel the most loyalty to. He's feeling hurt, I think, that he got betrayed by these three. I don't think he necessarily expected it. So he's kind of coming clean, saying, hey, just so you know, I would not have come after the three of y'all. All right, we've got America and Blue and Bowie Jane and Jag talking to each other. America is saying that Cameron has said that he and Bowie Jane and Matt and Jag were hardcore in agreement to go after Corey. And Bowie and Jag are both denying it, saying, nah, that is not the case. That's just Cameron saying things. Jag is saying that he never told Cameron he was okay going after Corey. Bowie Jane is saying that she was adamant with him about not going after Corey, and she was very adamant about it just so he would stop bringing it up over and over again. So they're both trying to distance themselves from Cameron and some of his statements as quickly as they can. We got Felicia talking to Blue. Felicia's telling Blue that she's been going through all the scenarios of who would nominate who based on who wins this coming up HOH this evening. She's been thinking about all of it. Blue at this point is saying that she really hopes she wins the veto. Blue's been going back and forth about this this HOH. Blue's been going back and forth about this HOH. Remember, yesterday, she was basically begging Matt and Jag to let her win this HOH so she could have some power. She could send Corey out and everything. Now she's telling Felicia that she really hopes she wins this HOH. She may not be thinking the same way a little bit later, as it turns out, but that's what she's telling Felicia. Neither one of them is now thinking that it's going to be the slip and slide competition. After this house has spent the entire last week going on and on and on and on and on about the slip and slide, now they're thinking it could be something different. And I think, as Felicia said, I just don't think they would have two competitions involving water, wetness in a row. It's probably going to be something different. They're both hoping for something that involves just straight up pure luck. You don't really consider yourself much of a comp beast in the house when your only hope to win something is if it's just a pure random lucky kind of type competition. But that's what they're hoping for. And again, Blue's still hoping right now that she can win HOH, so she has a little control in the house. All right, we've got Matt and Corey are comparing notes a little bit. Matt is saying to Corey that Cirie and Felicia have mainly been mentioning America and Corey as targets and not really mentioning Jag or Blue that much. It seems like, at least when they talk to Matt, that the focus is always at we got to go after Corey, we've got to go after America. Corey is saying that Felicia and Cirie have been telling others, him and others, that Jag is a threat, but that Cody and America keep saying, yeah, Jag's a threat, but we're going to send him out a little bit later. We're not going to do it right now. We will push a little bit further down the road. So again, Matt's saying, yeah, they're saying that you're that you two are the primary ones, and then Corey saying, well, they're saying that y'all kind of are the two as well. So yeah, they're recognizing Felicia maybe isn't quite saying the same thing as Cirie, maybe not quite saying the same things to everyone, which is to be expected in Big Brother. All right, there was lots of talk out in the backyard, primarily, a little bit indoors as well. A lot of non-game talk about Matt as an athlete, as a swimmer, as the stresses of being a swimmer and a college athlete, about him competing in the Paralympics coming up, that they'd like to go see him play. Lots of talk about what they want to do when they get out of the house, who they would visit. Corey saying he's just going to chill until school starts up in the spring. Well, I can't remember who else. Matt wants to travel, visit some family. So just a lot of non-game talk of that part. There is some talk while they're out there about how important the backyard is. I think it's Matt that talks about how it's just when he gets too stressed out, he comes in the backyard, how important it is. People who haven't played Big Brother do not realize what that backyard means to us when we're in that house. You feel so trapped inside, indoors. When you get these few days where you're able to go outside, see the sky above you, hear the birds chirping, hear traffic around, airplanes, it just brings you back, that you feel like you're back in the real world again. It does so much to relieve stress, which means it's why when you lose a house come Tuesdays, everything just ramps up from a stress level standpoint. So they're recognizing that, and I felt a lot of empathy with those guys as they talked about it. All right, we've got Jag and America and Bowie Jane talking about Felicia. Jag is saying that Felicia's been saying different things to them. Again, Matt and Corey talk about that. Well, Jag's saying the same thing as well. She's been saying different things to different people. But quickly, the conversation turns again to what this competition could be. Again, they're talking about something that's non-slip and slide either. They're talking about the disc hanging from the rope, hanging on an endurance competition. One of my absolute favorites, because I just killed it when I did it, and not so much, but they're talking about it as being a potential competition and how they would maybe deal with it and who would do well on it. They think Blue could actually do well on the competition of that sort. All right, we've got in the HOH room, Jag and Corey and America and Cameron and Bowie Jane. I think I got everyone just hanging out. They're working, styling each other's hair and everything, primarily focused on the guys, primarily focused on Corey, working on their hair, their nails, their makeup. They got Corey all dolled up. Yeah, he definitely looked a little bit different. At one point Corey says, I look older. He said, or I look old. He said, I don't look older. I just look old. He says, I look like senior Corey going to pick up little Corey from school or something. He did look a little different. But they had some fun with that, just hanging out, waiting, trying to make it through the day. All right. While Jag and Felicia and, let me take that back. Remember, it was Jag and Corey, America, Cameron, and Bowie Jane upstairs. While they're all upstairs doing that, we've got Jag and Felicia and Matt and Blue and Cirie downstairs. They're going over facts in case it's a memory competition of some sort. So they're going over facts, days, events, things like that. Could these kind of be the two sides that we're going to see consolidate as we get into the last third of the season? I could see it. Jag and Matt, Felicia and Cirie and Blue all downstairs together. Everyone else upstairs. Maybe that's how it's going to fall out. These two groups against each other. We'll see. I don't know where Bowie would land. Would she be with Matt and Jag downstairs right now? She's upstairs, so we don't know. We'll keep an eye on that. All right, Matt is wondering if they're going to get pumpkins for Halloween since they're still going to be in the house. Fantastic question. I really hope they do have a pumpkin carving contest. Doesn't have to be as a veto or HOH or anything else. Just have it. There could be a hide the veto competition coming up. You could have vetoes in the shape of pumpkins or something, which sounds like more Easter, finding Easter eggs. Hey, find the pumpkin veto. That'd be fun too. But yeah, I kind of hope they do get pumpkins to carve. Let's see who's got the artistic skills in this house. So Matt's wondering about that. All right, we got Jag and Corey are talking, both agreeing that Cirie is down to take out Blue next. In other words, they're kind of thinking that maybe Blue needs to go next, and they're saying, yeah, I think Cirie's down with it as well. So Blue better be a little careful going forward. There's a few people have been mentioning her name, a few more than she thinks, in fact. All right, Blue is alone talking to the camera. Be careful when you talk to that camera, Blue. Now, she's talking to the camera, kind of spelling some things out. She's talking about the fact that Cameron has been driving wedges throughout the house, trying to divide people up, that she's going to talk to him and tell him that the problem is he just can't be trusted. Remember, Blue, he's got to be a juror. You got to practice jury management. He's already going home. You don't need to explain what he's done wrong or anything else. Be friendly with him. Be kind, because he may be casting a vote on whether or not you win $750,000. But she says she's going to tell him that maybe he has an issue with not necessarily being trusted. So she has that. Now, she then goes in to talk about game competitions, and this our game strategy going forward. I think there's some important things in here. She mentions, remember how much she wanted Matt and Jag to throw the HOH to her so she could win. Remember how she told Felicia earlier how much she hopes she wins HOH. Well, now that's changed. Now she's saying that she thinks that she's going to throw the competition because, first of all, it's obvious what she would do, which is to get out Corey. And she thinks people are going to try to capitalize on that. And they want her to win. Let her, as the seasoned language goes, let her do the dirty work for others. So now she's saying, yeah, I'd love to get Corey out. I want Corey out, but I don't think I'm going to win HOH and do it myself. Get out Corey. She seems a bit upset with Matt and Jag, saying that they are so focused on getting no blood on their hands that it's a little irritating. That they don't want any blood on their hands, but that they need to walk the walk and not just talk the talk. Remind me, Blue, how many competitions you've won so far, how much walking the walk you've done so far. Big old goose egg so far, but maybe that'll change. But yeah, she's a little upset that she feels like they don't want to win the HOH. So why should I want to win the HOH if they're not going to win it either? She's talking a little bit more about that issue. She's saying, look, I want Corey gone. That's absolutely my target. I want him gone. But she doesn't want to be the person to do it anymore. Now, I think this is a bit of an evolution in Blue's gameplay. Originally, she wanted to send Corey out the door just to rub it in his face that he had put her on the block, and just as a way to get back, a little bit of vindictiveness. Well, now that they're into the jury phase, that has changed a little bit, because now she's saying she absolutely wants Corey gone, but she wants Matt or Jag to take him out instead of herself, so that then America will come to her. Right. So as much as she'd love to be the one responsible for sending Corey out, as I mentioned, I think her play's evolved a little bit, because she's also recognizing that if it's not her, if it's Matt or Jag, it gives her a much better chance to grab hold of America and pull her closer and pull America away from Matt and Jag as well. So she wants Corey gone, but she wants Matt and Jag to do it. Hence her decision that maybe she's going to throw this HOH. Now, she continues on from that. It's not that she just wants to pull America towards her. She's talking about how great it would be to have an all-female alliance, an all-women's Final Five. So basically her, America, Cirie, Felicia, and Bowie Jane. All women at the very end is now what Blue's kind of targeting and thinking could be possible. She's saying that she knows that Matt and Jag have to leave soon for her to win. She's kind of thinking, as much as she wants to throw this HOH, let them do the dirty work, get Corey out the door. Then she would like to win next week's HOH, make a big move, take out Matt or Jag, boost her resume, get one of the guys out of the house, and everything's golden. That sounds like a plan to me. All right, we've got Matt and Jag and Bowie in the HOH room talking. They're talking about both Matt and Jag now gunning for the HOH. As much as Blue thinks that they're going to throw it and let her do the dirty work, they've changed their strategy as well. Now they're talking about both of them potentially going for this HOH. They're saying, especially if it's slip and slide, it's going to be tough to throw something like that. So especially if it's slip and slide, but maybe even something else, we're going to go for it. We're going to try to win it. There's talk about this possibility of a secondary safety option and who would go for that and not go for it. It's not worth talking about until we see what the comp is. But they definitely both are thinking they want a gun for the HOH. But Jag is also talking about that if they win HOH, they're not going to go after Corey. No, he's talking about going after Blue at that point in time. All right, let me back that up. Kind of spoil the joke, not joke, but let me back up on that. They're talking about winning, going for the HOH, but Jag is pushing about going after Blue before going after Corey, right? The plan had been kind of talked about to go after Corey, but now Jag is saying, maybe though, if we win this HOH, we need to go after Blue first, send her out the door, and then we'll go after Corey later. I guess Jag's walking the walk that Blue wanted to see, right? Just maybe not the way she wanted to see it. So yeah, he's saying, I think we need to go after Blue before we go after Corey. Matt's talking though about a scenario. He's saying, look, what if we just did throw the HOH? We let Blue win the HOH. We let her take out Corey and get the blood on her hands, and then America's going to be mad at her. So basically, Matt is recognizing the same thing that Blue recognized, that if Blue takes out Corey, it creates a target on her. It creates some animosity between her and America. And Matt's saying, let's do that. That would be fantastic. But Jag is saying basically the same thing, similar to Blue, that if Corey goes first, then America goes to Blue. So he's saying, yeah, we can't we can't let Corey go first. She may want us to do that, but we've got to get out Blue because otherwise America heads that direction. So Blue and Matt and Jag all are looking at similar situations about where America goes once Corey is gone. And the end result is that Matt and Jag are now thinking that Blue needs to go before Corey goes home. Would that not be a shocker to Blue? If they did that, it'd be very interesting. So they have to get out Blue first, as they're thinking. They're saying that the other thing too, they're saying no one will get upset if they go after Blue. The rest of the house will be meh. So it won't create the issues that it would be created if they put Corey up, sent Corey out the door, the issues with America and all that. They just feel like it's a safer bet. And also it makes it easier for them going forward. And Jag mentions as well, he says also as a bit of gratitude, if we don't go after Corey, if we leave Corey and America alone, send Blue out instead. We know Corey wants Blue out the door. If we send Blue out the door, does that make us a little tighter with Corey and America? Does that make them less likely that they would put us up if they got HOH in the next week or so? So there's a lot of incentive for them maybe to leave Corey alone this week and go after Blue instead. All right, there's talk about Blue being upset. And remember, again, this is Matt and Jag and Bowie Jane at this point in time. There's lots of talk about Blue being upset that she was the last person to find out about this plan to backdoor Cameron. And she's been asking a lot of questions about who knew when. So they've come up with a plan where Bowie Jane is basically going to tell Blue that no, she didn't tell anyone about her plan to backdoor Cameron until after the veto, I think after the veto comp, if I recall. So she's going to say that. And sure enough, Blue asked her a little bit later in the evening. And that's what she says is, nah, no one knew. It was just my thing. I just wanted to make sure everything is in place. I didn't tell anyone until the very last minute, trying to make her feel a little bit better. With that, Bowie Jane eventually leaves. So now we've got just Matt and Jag talking to each other. And the conversation changes just a little bit because now Jag is telling Matt that he's going to talk to Cirie about locking in a final three between Matt and Jag and Cirie. Yeah, now Cirie really hadn't done anything in the game in terms of competitions. And yet here she is, a final three discussion involving her. What a social game. She works her magic in some way or the other. She always works her magic. So yeah, Matt and Jag are now talking about a final three. They already have one with Bowie Jane, but now one with Cirie as well. And they're saying that Bowie could be the number 4 in the group. So we'll still have her on board. She's just not going to realize that Cirie is ahead of her in the rankings, so to speak. That Bowie Jane, Cirie would be their number 3. Bowie Jane would be their number 4. Felicia maybe is number 5. And then after that, probably America is number 6. Corey is number 7. And then Blue heading out the door this coming up week. So that's the discussion point. They're going to discuss it with Cirie a little bit more detail if one of them was to win HOH. But they're going to mention it to her as a final 3, and then they'll follow up once they know what happened with the HOH. So another final 3 in the making at this point in time. So while all this is going on downstairs or upstairs, downstairs, we've got America talking to Blue, and America's figuring out what's going on. America's telling Blue, saying, look, I hate to be the one to tell you and all that, but Matt and Jag are targeting you, Blue. It's not Corey. You're the one they're coming after. They're saying, America's telling Blue, saying, now they may put up Felicia next to you, and they may try to spin it. It's Felicia or whatever. It doesn't matter. They're going after you, Blue. You're the one that Matt and Jag want to get out the door. And she's saying, here, just keep in mind, Blue, if you do end up on the block, Corey and I'll do what we can. Maybe we could vote for you and to save you from going home. That'll be 2 votes. So, maybe there's something we can do, and we'd certainly be wanting to work with you. But just so you know, you're being targeted by Matt and Jag. She's saying that she thinks that if Matt and Jag think that they have Blue in their back pocket, maybe they would change their plans. Maybe they would leave her alone. But for right now, that's the game plan. But Blue, with that information, little concerned, kind of, wow, okay. I don't know if Blue's buying it or not. It's easy when you're in a house, you're only hearing partial information. Blue could easily think that America is just trying to split her up from Matt and Jag at this point in time. So I'm not sure she's buying it, but she is telling America that, well, I'm going to keep pretending like I'm loyal to Matt and Jag just in case they use that as a reason not to send me out there or put me on the block. So, when you see me doing that, it's just me pretending. So we'll find out. But she has now been warned. Even if she doesn't believe it, she's got to be thinking about it in her brain a little bit going forward, right? I would be. All right, we've got Matt talking to Corey. He's telling Corey that Felicia had said that she wouldn't put Blue up, that's not her game plan going forward, that Felicia wants Corey and America up instead. So again, Matt making sure that Corey realizes that Felicia maybe isn't his friend, and hey, aim for Felicia, not for us. Felicia says she's going after you, Corey. So he is mentioning that to Corey, saying that he told everyone, they told Felicia that everyone else is gunning for Blue, and she said, well, it doesn't matter. It's not my target. So he's saying, yeah, because I tried to tell her that, but she's pretty intent on going after you in America. All right, we've got Blue and Cirie talking a little bit. Blue is saying that in her gut, she thinks she can trust Matt. I think she mentions Jag as well in there, but especially Matt. She thinks she can trust the 2 guys, that Matt and Jag haven't given her any reason not to trust them, but America and Corey certainly have already in this game. So I don't recall, I don't think she mentioned the knowledge or the thought that maybe she's being targeted by Matt and Jag. It's a little more abstract than that, but certainly the way she's vocalizing, I think there's still some concern about whether America was actually telling her the truth when she told her that. Because again, she's thinking she can trust Matt and Jag a little more than Corey and America. And Cirie is probably backing that up a little bit because she's telling Blue that Matt and Jag think that Corey is the bigger target this week, and that as far as Cirie knows, that's who they're going after. All right, we've got Cirie and Felicia talking a little bit, practicing a little bit. They're using candies to try to spell out letters, the longest spell out words using letters. Candy represent letters. They're thinking there could be some kind of a spelling competition to determine HOH. They haven't done that in quite a few years, and I can't remember if it was HOH or vetoes that those spelling comps typically are held in. I wanted it so bad during my season. I had words lined up. I was ready to go. I thought I'd do fantastic at that competition. I didn't get it. Nah, not at all. At one point, I think Felicia came up with a pretty long word, decompartmentalization. if I recall, which is like 19 letters or something. I don't, unless they give you a couple hours to find those letters. Just because you got a long word doesn't mean you can find all the letters to spell it out. But anyway, she's trying to come up with all these really long words just in case they get a spelling competition. Who knows? We got a season reflecting back on past seasons, so maybe they do get it. And if that's the case, they'll probably be more prepared than anyone else because they spend a lot of time working on their words with those candy as letters, but they also are talking a little strategy. Sari is saying that Blue thinks that Matt and Jag are going after Cory and America, and she also thinks that Cory and America think that Blue thinks that Cory and America are going after Matt and Jag, and that Matt and Jag are going after Cory and America. And they're wondering if, with Blue thinking those two sides are going after each other, is it possible that it's actually a blind side of Blue that's being planned instead, and she just doesn't get that? Well, pretty good reasoning out there, the Sari. So she is wondering about that. They're also wondering about, remember Nicole, when she went home, called out Jag and Matt and Bowie Jane. They're wondering if maybe Nicole was on to something, if Nicole was right and not just trying to throw people under the bus, but actually had something to that accusation. So they're certainly going to start focusing on Bowie a little bit, and Matt and Jag and the three of them, how they interact with each other. And so we got that. All right, we've got Blue and Jag and Matt in the bathroom. Jag is thinking that an ideal five could be Blue and Jag and Matt, obviously, but also adding on Cory and America. And they're thinking that could be a perfect five to go forward through the rest of the game. Well, the fact that Matt and Jag are already targeting Blue for this coming up week makes me think that this isn't a true final five. It's just being said for the benefit of Blue at this point in time. We'll see if Blue buys it or not. All right, we got Sari and Felicia continuing some conversations while they work on their spelling and all that. Felicia is saying that she thinks that Jag has been lying about some things, and that she's a little upset because she feels like Jag is already counting Felicia and Sari as jury votes if he makes it to the final two and they don't, and that Jag's just certain that he'll get their votes. It may have a little bit to do with Felicia promising Matt and Jag, and I can remember who else, that she wants them to get to the end, that they'll get her votes. Yeah, here's the thing. Don't ever promise votes. Don't ever say, if you're in one of the final two chairs, you're going to get my jury vote. Because you know what that does? That makes that person think, well, I'd love to get that person on jury because I know they're going to vote for me. It gives them more incentive to send you out the door in some ways. But now Felicia is saying their Jag is so certain he's got our two votes. It just kind of makes me mad. And she says, anyone who votes me out is not getting my vote. That's all there is to it. They're not getting my vote. Such a bitter juror. I kind of hate that Felicia's going to be on the jury because it's obvious she's not going to vote for the person who played the best game or is most deserving. She's going to vote against the person who voted her out the door if they're in one of those final two chairs. It is what there is. There's no rules on jury voting, but we know how Felicia is going to vote, what her motivation is going to be when it comes to her jury voting. So she's mentioning that. All right, they are talking about a plan if one of them was to win the HOH. The idea is that maybe they put up Matt and Jag on the block with Jag as a target. If Jag was to win veto, well, then they replace Jag with Cory, perhaps. Later, I heard Bowie Jane as a potential replacement, but sounds like maybe they replace Jag with Cory, and then they convince Jag and Matt that was the plan all along. It was always going to be a backdoor of Cory. We never wanted to go after you two guys. It was always the backdoor Cory. So that's what they're talking about maybe doing. They are worried if they were to try to do something against Jag, and if Jag stayed, that he could team up with Bowie and America and Cory and work on the other side. I didn't mention Matt, but I'm sure Matt's in there as well. And that Jag would go away from Sari and Felicia at that point in time. They are talking about an all-woman final five. So Blue's not the only person that's thinking about this. Sari and Felicia have also mentioned it. And then they finish up some of the conversation with Sari telling Felicia that, Matt isn't nearly as innocent as we think he is. He's doing a lot more than we think he is. So, yeah, Matt's friends with everyone, but we certainly have people that are starting as the numbers reduce. People starting to look at Matt and realizing he's in there playing the game as well. He's playing it very well, but he's certainly in there playing the game also. All right, finally, we've got Jag and Matt and Bowie Jane talking. Jag is saying to Matt that they need to tell Cirie that Bowie is their target because they don't want anyone else recognizing that Bowie Jane is working closely with Matt and Jag, especially after Nicole called him out. They want to try to distance Bowie Jane. Everyone knows that Matt and Jag are together. In fact, Felicia, during her conversation with Cirie at one point, had said, Matt always throws out all these different configurations of, oh, I'm working with so-and-so, or I do this or this and that. She said he always includes Jag as someone he's working with. He may interchange other people, but he always mentions Jag. So everyone knows that Matt and Jag are pretty close, but they want to try to avoid having people think that they're also tight with Bowie Jane. As part of that, they're going to tell Cirie that now, if we get a chance, we're going to go after Bowie Jane as a way to distance themselves from that. Now, it makes perfect sense. And Bowie Jane saying, well, I guess I don't have any choice. And yeah, I get it. I see why you are saying that. And that's fine. Is so that they don't know that we're together. What Bowie Jane doesn't realize is it certainly works to Matt and Jag's advantage as well, since they're talking about a final three with Cirie also. So yeah, go ahead and tell Cirie that Bowie Jane's your target. And that way, if anything does get spilled, if Cirie, for example, starts spilling the beans and tells Felicia or Blue or something else, and it gets back to Bowie Jane, well, they've already told Bowie Jane that's exactly what they're going to tell Cirie. So I thought that was a pretty brilliant move from Jag's standpoint, Jag and Matt's standpoint. So that's the game plan. Bowie Jane has agreed with it. As a result, I think that's what they'll end up telling Cirie as they have their conversation a little bit later. And then with that, finally, right before bedtime, the entire house, pretty sure the entire house piles into bed with America and Corey to say goodnight. Now, eventually they leave, but they had fun trying to squeeze everyone in. Those beds aren't big. They aren't like during my season where everyone was sleeping double. Now, smaller beds. We still had some people sleeping double this season, didn't we? But they all piled in bed for a little bit before saying goodnight. Everyone in bed, lights out by, 2:30 or so Big Brother time. And there you have it, guys. So in summary, Cameron's going home tonight, unless I can't even give you an unless. Cameron's going home tonight. The big question is HOH. The big question is who's actually going to compete for HOH and who's just going to throw this. And if someone throws it, are they going to pay a big price as a result? I'm talking to you, Blue. It seems like she could be in trouble if she doesn't win this thing. We'll find out. It's going to be fun. And I guess the other big question, slip and slide, hanging on to disc, spelling competition, or who knows what else. It's going to be a fun episode tonight, seeing who wins this thing. I'll be back tomorrow to give you the update. Hopefully we get to see the competition during the live, either during the live feeds or on the show itself. But either way, I'll be back tomorrow morning to give you an update on who won it, what that means for the house. Until then, guys, y'all have a fantastic Thursday. Enjoy the show tonight. I will see y'all tomorrow morning. SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.